The 13th Doctor's error rated in 10 seconds. Allons-y! The Woman Who Fell to Earth was a pretty good intro for the 13th Doctor. It gave her a badass Doctor moment and set up Graham and Ryan's arc really well. I did enjoy getting to know this new Doctor. And the Ghost Monument has already fumbled the bag with the most boring episode possible, with an ending that's super lazy. A draw after all that? It's a beautiful looking episode though. Rosa is a great episode with a fun back and forth between the Doctor and the villain. Trying to get Rosa Parks on the bus was a really creative and engaging plot point. I found this episode to be very entertaining. Arachnids in the UK is possibly the worst episode of Doctor Who. Hilariously bad villain and the Doctor's morality is all over the place. Apparently shooting the spider is bad, but letting it suffocate? Good. The Saranga Conundrum is another episode that drags on despite being so wacky. You've got a dude getting pregnant and this monstrosity. Also, the set design is rather cool. Demons of the Punjab is overrated. People love this one, but I can't say I like it. It doesn't help that I'm not connected to any of these characters yet, and I do not care what happens to them. Kablam is a pretty decent episode. If one monster's going to survive the Chibnall era, it's the Kablam men. They are awesome. The Witchfinders is one of 2 episodes of 13s that I haven't seen yet. There's something about the Witchfinders and Tesla's Night of Horror that makes me sleepy. Let me know if this episode is any good in the comments. It Takes You Away almost made me cry. It's a creative episode with a heartfelt ending. Ryan calling Graham Grandad almost got me. The acting in that scene felt very natural. I loved it. The Battle of Ranskor Flefleplebla is baffling to me. This is a series finale. The funniest part of this episode is the Doctor's morality again. She tells Graham to not kill Tim Shaw, so instead he shoots him in the leg and leaves him in a box. Tim Shaw and his teeth are still in that box, but that's fine by 13. Resolution is unfortunately another mid as fuck episode. Bad CGI, but it's redeemed by a Dalek being badass and the best joke in the revival. Spyfall Part 1 is brilliant, some great setup and the action on the motorbikes is awesome. It's also got the best cliffhanger in the whole show. That master reveal was something else. Part 2 on the other hand is not so good. The story becomes more convoluted and basically we get a worse version of the sound of drums. Gallifrey is gone again, but at least we got some great memes out of it. Orphan 55 is a horrific episode filled with so many problems. For one, the costumes and makeup were designed by Satan himself, and the dialogue was somewhat repetitive. Benny! I have tried to watch this episode 3 times and fell asleep each and every time. The 3rd time I watched it in the bath to avoid sleeping, but I still fell asleep. 0 out of 10, it almost made me drown. Fugitive of the Jadoon is a comfort episode. It's entertaining and I love the Jadoon, and it takes place in Gloucester. I go there every day for college and that makes me happy for some reason. Also Jack returns, which is always fun. Praxius is another one I like. The virus CGI is great and the side characters were well written. In Can You Hear Me, we got to learn more about Yaz. Yippee! More of this plank of wood. I will say the villain is quite creepy and the visuals were good. Everyone loves the haunting of Vili Dee Dee Da Da, but I thought it was okay. The mansion was creepy and trippy, plus the lone Cyberman was cool. Not enough happens for this to be rated higher. Ascension of the Cybermen was the first episode of Jodie Whittaker that I watched. I saw it live and I came out of my living room and said, well that was shit. However, I did enjoy the action and seeing the old Cyberman design again. What can I say about the Timeless Child that hasn't already been said? Hurtful and unnecessary changes to the lore, made worse by the boatloads of exposition in the episode. Lazy ending too. Revolution of the Daleks is one of those good fun Chibnall episodes. It's not good Doctor Who, like what we used to get with Tennant, but it's a watchable episode. It's an episode made for kids. No depth, no emotion, just action. And I kinda enjoyed it. Rating the Halloween Apocalypse is a hard one. If the rest of Flux didn't exist, it's a 9. It sets up everything amazingly, and Jodie facing the Flux was a fantastic moment for her Doctor. It was one of the only moments when I looked at Jodie and saw her as the Doctor. War of the Sontarans was another fun one, but it should have been better. The battle was too short and I think the plot should have been more focused on Crimea. Crimea, Sontarans and British soldiers was enough to make an awesome story. I liked it, but I would have made changes to the plot. Once Upon Time is about as mid as it gets. It's hard to rate Flux stories on their own because they're one epic story. Just a quick update, I still don't give a shit about 13 or Yaz. Village of the Angels is a good one that can stand on its own. The angels are super scary and their attacks were creative. Seeing that angel on fire was badass. Survivors of the Flux was pretty good. The Doctor has a ton of presence in this one and the episode sets up the finale really well. Unfortunately, the finale, The Vanquishers, was awful. A huge disappointing mess ruining the whole series of Flux. Having 3 Doctors was pretty funny, but overall this episode had to juggle too many plot points and ended up dropping every ball. Eve of the Daleks was pretty good, the side characters were great, and I do enjoy a time loop story. Dan running round a Dalek was a piss take though. Legend of the Sea Devils is filled with about 1,000 mistakes, making it a shit episode. Traps appear out of nowhere, Dan kills 5 Sea Devils in 2 swings, and we see the leader do a Mario jump onto their ship. I could go on all day, what a disaster. And finally, Power of the Doctor, a fun episode to see Jodie off, but that ending, wow. David Tennant is back as the 14th Doctor, and I could not be more excited. The future of Doctor Who is here. Now that's the end of the video. I must say I was very kind with the scores seeing as I don't like these characters, but I think I ranked these in a pretty fair way. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers, so please like and subscribe. Also join my Discord if you're a fan of the channel. Goodbye.